In the frigid darkness over Kursk, Ukrainian drones roared across the Russian sky. A precise strike ignited a transformer at the Kursk nuclear power plant, Kursk NPP, sending flames blazing and thick black smoke obscuring the horizon. Russia's vaunted air defense systems, including the S-400 and Panzer S-1 radar, stood powerless against these small but lethal shadows. On August 24th, marking Ukraine's 34th Independence Day, Kyiv launched a daring assault targeting the heart of Russia's energy infrastructure, the Kursk NPP. This wasn't merely retaliation for Russia's relentless attacks on Ukraine's power grid, it was a bold statement. Ukraine isn't just defending, it can penetrate Russia's most fortified defenses. How did this audacious operation unfold?
The strike on the Kursk NPP marked the pinnacle of Ukraine's retaliatory strategy. Since 2022, Russia has destroyed over half of Ukraine's power grid, targeting thermal and hydroelectric plants and threatening the Zaporizhzhia NPP, Europe's largest nuclear facility. Kyiv responded by turning Russia's own tactics against it, hitting strategic energy infrastructure, with the Kursk NPP supplying 20% of central Russia's electricity as the prime target. Striking on Ukraine's Independence Day carried symbolic weight, underscoring Kyiv's unyielding resolve against Moscow.
In July 2025, Ukraine's military intelligence, HER, identified the Kursk NPP, located 37 miles from the Ukrainian border, as a strategic target. Despite heavy protection from Russian air defense units, including the S-400, Panzer S-1, Nebo-M radar, and Kolchuga, the HER, aided by NATO satellite imagery and on-ground operatives, spotted a vulnerability. Russian defenses focused on larger threats, while the UJ-22 drone's small radar cross-section and low-altitude flight under 330 feet evaded detection. Kursk's flat plains and sparse forests further aided the drone's stealthy approach.
At secret bases in Sumy and Chernihiv, Ukrainian engineers prepared the operation. They selected the UJ-22 Airborne, equipped with a 44-pound high-explosive fragmentation (HEFR) warhead, GPS/INS anti-jamming guidance, and the Leleka 100 reconnaissance drone, 62-mile range, 2-hour flight time. The plan had 3 phases: reconnaissance and jamming, main attack, and damage assessment. To distract Russian defenses, Ukraine deployed 50 low-cost FPV drones from the east and south while launching cyberattacks targeting the Panzer S-1 control frequencies. Drone control stations, hidden in bunkers near Sumy, used FPV screens and secure US-provided satellite links.
At 8:30 p.m. Kyiv time on August 23rd, the Sumy base buzzed with activity under cover of darkness. The temperature was 57 degrees Fahrenheit, skies clear, with a 2.5 mile-per-hour breeze, ideal conditions for UAVs. In a camouflaged field, 25 modified trucks served as mobile launch platforms, each carrying 4 UJ-22 drones. A total of 100 drones were prepared, but only 20 were chosen for the main mission, with others as backups or decoys. The drones launched at 9 p.m., flying in a V formation at 165 to 260 feet to avoid the Nebo-M radar. The 37-mile journey to the Kursk NPP took 25 minutes at 100 miles per hour, with drones weaving in curved paths and varying altitudes to exploit low hills and sparse forests. Simultaneously, 50 FPV drones launched from Chernihiv at 9:05 p.m., carrying dummy warheads and flying at 600 feet to draw radar attention. Emitting strong radar signals, they intentionally broadcast their presence. In Kursk, the Kolchuga radar detected the FPV drones, triggering an alert.
Nearby Pantsir S-1 and S-400 units activated, downing 30 FPV drones in 15 minutes, overwhelming Russian air defenses. At 12:10 a.m. Moscow time on August 24, 20 UJ-22 drones entered Kursk airspace, 6.2 miles from the Kursk NPP. Split into 4 groups of 5, they flew at 165 feet and 93 miles per hour to maintain a low radar profile. Group 1, led by drone UJ-22-17, was tasked with striking the transformer for reactor number 3, a critical target 650 feet from the main reactor, powering cooling and control systems. Groups 2 and 3 circled the plant at 1.9 to 3.1 miles, ready to hit secondary targets like backup power stations or auxiliary controls. Group 4 conducted reconnaissance, using infrared cameras on a Leleka 100 drone to relay real-time data to Sumy. At this point, Russian air defenses detected anomalies. The Nebo-M radar, positioned 9.3 miles from the plant, picked up faint blips, but Ukrainian cyberattacks disrupted the Pantsir S-1 control frequencies, severing communication between the 1RS-21E radar and 2A-38M cannon for 7 minutes. A Pantsir S-1 unit on a low hill 3.1 miles from the plant activated its radar but only detected 3 lingering FPV drones from the eastern decoy wave. Meanwhile, the UJ-22 drones closed in, skimming the ground and hiding under sparse forest canopies and small valleys. At 12:15 a.m., Group 1 reached 3.1 miles from the target. UJ-22017, carrying a 44-pound HE frag warhead, was programmed to dive precisely into the transformer, a 33-foot-tall steel structure weighing tens of tons, glinting under moonlight. Operators in Sumy monitored infrared camera feeds showing barbed wire, watchtowers, and faint reactor lights. UJ-22017 dropped to 130 feet to evade the Kolchuga radar, distracted by Eastern FPV drones. Its GPS/INS system, accurate to 6.6 feet, kept it steady despite Russian electronic jamming. At 12:20 a.m., Groups 2 and 3 circled north and northwest of the plant, staying 1.9 miles out to divert attention. 2 drones in Group 2 climbed to 330 feet, emitting fake radar signals via onboard jammers, redirecting the Nebo-M radar northward. This created a 3-minute gap in the air defense grid, allowing Group 1 to approach undetected. UJ-22-017 accelerated to 112 miles per hour, initiating a 45-degree dive at 12:24 a.m. Its FPV camera showed the transformer clearly, a gleaming steel mass in the technical area. Operators locked the target, with the GPS/INS ensuring pinpoint accuracy. At 12:25 a.m., a Pantsir S-1 radar near the plant detected UJ-22-017 just 165 feet from the target. The unit, on a low hill, fired its 2A-38M cannon at 5,000 rounds per minute. But the drone's speed and proximity rendered the cannon ineffective. At 12:26 a.m., UJ-22-017 was hit in the left wing, but detonated its 44-pound HE frag warhead over the transformer, 600 feet from the main reactor. The explosion created a 33-foot fireball, with shockwaves rattling the area, destroying the transformer and sparking localized fires. Flames rose 23 feet with thick black smoke obscuring the Kursk sky. Debris from the drone and transformer scattered 165 feet, damaging nearby cables and pressure valves. Immediately after the blast, the plant's automatic fire suppression system activated at 12:26:10 a.m., spraying high-pressure water from fixed nozzles around the technical area. Firefighters from Kurchatov, 1.9 miles away, were alerted at 12:27 a.m. and deployed 5 fire trucks with 30 personnel. They used specialized foam to douse the flames, focusing on the transformer area. The fire was contained by 12:56 a.m., but smoke lingered for 2 hours, forming a column hundreds of feet high, visible from miles away. The remaining drones in Groups 1 and 2 received a retreat signal from the Leleka 100 at 12:28 a.m., dropping to 100 feet and returning to Ukraine, using low hills to evade radar. Group 3, tasked with hitting the backup power station, was detected by the Nebo-M at 12:29 a.m. 3 drones were shot down by S-400 48N6DM missiles, traveling at Mach 14 with a 155-mile range, but 2 escaped by flying low in a valley 4.3 miles from the plant. Group 4 continued circling at 1,640 feet, using infrared cameras to record the fire and smoke. Data was relayed to Sumy via secure satellite, providing evidence of the strike.
Ukraine's cyber attack on the Pantsir S-1 control frequencies disrupted Russian air defense communications from 12:25 to 12:32 a.m. This delayed the S-400, positioned 9.3 miles away, from coordinating a full response. The 56-minute operation, with a 20-minute climax at the Kursk NPP, saw Russia down many drones, but at least one UJ-22 breached the defenses, hitting the transformer. The sacrificial FPV drones, carrying no warheads, were mostly lost, but succeeded in overloading the Kolchuga and Nebo-M radars, enabling UJ-22-017's success.
The attack on the Kursk NPP had significant but calculated consequences, designed to achieve strategic goals without triggering a nuclear disaster. The transformer, critical for reactor number 3's cooling and control systems, was destroyed, halving the reactor's output from 1,000 megawatts to 500 megawatts. This disrupted power to Kursk's industrial and military facilities, hampering Russian logistics. Radiation levels remained safe at 0.2 USV per hour, confirmed by the International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA, via remote monitoring. Russia condemned the attack as nuclear terrorism, accusing Ukraine of violating international nuclear safety conventions, including the 1994 Nuclear Safety Convention, claiming Kyiv deliberately targeted sensitive infrastructure to sow panic. However, Russia's accusations come amid its own campaign against Ukraine's energy infrastructure. Since 2022, Russia has targeted Ukraine's thermal, hydroelectric, and Zaporizhzhia NPP facilities, occupying the latter and causing dangerous incidents, including power cuts threatening reactor safety. Russia's attacks destroyed over 50% of Ukraine's grid, leaving millions without power, water, or heat during harsh winters, plunging Ukraine into an energy crisis. Ukraine's precise targeting of the transformer, critical yet not core to reactor safety, avoided catastrophic fallout. The strike reflected detailed knowledge of the Kursk NPP's layout, likely from operatives or Allied satellite imagery. Ukraine's Center for Countering Disinformation, GCD,
dismissed Russia's nuclear terrorism claims, asserting the attack targeted no reactors. President Volodymyr Zelensky, in his Independence Day speech, vowed Ukraine would do everything to protect national interests and strike back on all fronts, implying such attacks are vital for strategic balance.
The Kursk NPP strike was a turning point in the Russia-Ukraine conflict, signaling to Moscow that if it can hit Ukraine's energy facilities, including the Zaporizhzhia NPP, Kyiv can retaliate against Russian strategic targets. The attack showcased Ukraine's ability to penetrate Russia's costly air defenses with small, cheap UAVs, exposing vulnerabilities in systems like the S-400 Triumph and Pantsir S-1.
These billion-dollar air defense systems, designed for fighters, ballistic missiles, or large radar targets, proved ineffective against the UJ-22 airborne, costing about $10,000 with a radar cross-section under 0.01 square meters. Ukraine's success with low-cost drones, cyber tactics, and decoys demonstrated that innovation and flexibility can outmatch advanced technology. The attack heightened tensions, especially on Ukraine's Independence Day, amid diplomatic efforts like a proposed ceasefire by President Donald Trump. Russia may escalate strikes on Ukraine's infrastructure, including the Zaporizhzhia NPP, risking further conflict escalation. Yet Ukraine proved it can strike deep into Russia with precision, pressuring Moscow's energy and military systems and forcing Russia to reallocate resources from Ukraine's eastern front to protect facilities like the Kursk NPP. The superiority of Ukrainian drones, from the Reactor TB2 to the UJ-22 and FPV, over Russian defenses marked a technological and strategic triumph. It highlighted Russia's reliance on costly, outdated air defense systems ill-suited for small drones. The IAEA will likely increase monitoring of both the Kursk and Zaporizhzhia NPPs to prevent further incidents, but peace remains elusive as both sides escalate retaliatory strikes. The Kursk NPP attack was not just a military strike, but a reminder that Ukraine is ready to confront Russia on every front, from battlefields to infrastructure, to defend its interests and counter Moscow's aggression.